I'm Seamus. Thank you so much for coming.
You've got a great cause worth fighting for. I couldn't wait to get here. That said, I expected, well, more people?
So far, there's only the two of us.
But we're highly motivated.
Well, it's a start.
Some people I knew already were dear friends of mine, like little gray cells, and just my stupid opinion.
Lots of interesting things. This is absolutely abominable, and the RCMP are really in the shit here, and they know it.
Hi, I'm not really sure what I'm doing here, but I think it's time that I needed to speak up.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
Something you watch on TV, horror movie, you shut it off a good bit. We can't shut this off. Every time we close our eyes, the horror movie turns on. So I know for myself, when I close my eyes to go try to go to bed, I picture my parents being shot.
Trying to piece together a story that seems so unbelievable.
Let's have a look at this. I'm going to pause it periodically, and I'm going to try and not lose my shit because I was really angry. Really angry. I'm getting really pissed now. I'll preface this by saying I'm strongly urging all of the victims in this, the victims' families, to launch a class action lawsuit against the RCMP, and I would just love to have the RCMP under discovery. I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure a lawyer would too.
Canadian Mounted Police and their stories. Stories of their courage. Stories of their lives filled with hazard, romance, and adventure. The RCMP story this week, Gunslinger.
Oh my goodness, how many windows do I have open? All right. It's been a little while. How you guys doing? All right, we got Uncle Blazer, Yessie, Linda McDonald, how are you doing? Glow Watcher, Grampy's Garage, Lynn M, glad to have you all join me. Okay, so I'm going to read through James Banfield's interviews today. Glad to see that some other people are addressing things. What was that on this latest one? Oh, that's right. April 4th, 2022. Okay, a bit, we're coming up almost a year behind. I don't know what's with some people. Anyway, okay, so let's have a look here. Anybody cares to look that up, they'll find what I'm talking about. Now, and there's splatterings throughout many other videos. What am I looking for here? This one. I think that's it. There we go. Okay, we have NS44. If we went in, you're 3 for 3. At the double C, I told her, oh, okay, I missed something here. At the double C, I told her you would stream if we went in. 3 for 3. Okay, good. Well, as long as I can keep no new camera. Sad, hello, brand new baby boy. Yes, congratulations are in order. The family expands, does it not? Must be very excited up there. Okay, congratulations. Crystal Edwards, hello, Nikki Lewis. Washer, glad to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you all. Christine W. and Caper Gal. Okay, so I tend to do long format stuff, as you guys understand. Sadly, the reason I do that is because I want to give full context for what I'm talking about. That way, then nobody can ever say, you selectively quoted something. I hate people who selectively quote stuff because it can always be misinterpreted. But if you use somebody's own words, okay, good. So I want to go back and read through James Banfield's interviews. There is a point to all of it. I will get there. I promise you. Maybe not entirely today. We'll see. But the interviews are important to get the context. Invasion 1. Hello. So, I'm having no technical errors today. User error. Not having any of that. That's good. Okay. So this interview was done April 19th. If we just remember back, James Banfield, Brian Brewster, and Lisa Banfield got charged, right, with Section 99, or is it 101? I can't remember which. Transfer of ammunition. Okay. And that all seems to be a bit of a mystery, a bit of a mess going on over there. Now there's a pending lawsuit and all that other good stuff. All right. So let's start off here with the April 19th interview. James Banfield, though, did plead guilty to transfer of ammunition. He went in at the very last minute before he was supposed to appear in court, June 2021, I believe. I'm just going by memory. So June 2021, and he pled guilty, which was a very odd legal maneuver, and the judge allowed it, which was strange because he was just going to see him in a few days for his trial. So why not come in the trial? That would be the normal thing to do. I'm sure my granddad would have done the same. What are you wasting my time for? No, I'll see you in a few days. I've got other things to do. Court docket very busy. But no, he came in on the Friday and he pled guilty. He changed his plea. But that all seems to have gone away. I'm not quite understanding how you can plead guilty to things and then somehow turn around and sue. You would have had legal consultation, right? By that point in time, Lisa would have had legal consultation. Not understanding that one quite. In her varied interviews later, but I'm not going to address that quite today. We will be live streaming in 8 days' time, the report, which will be, I expect, kind of like a thank you, and we love you, and there's all kinds of supports, and we've learned all kinds of things, and we're going to make recommendations, and a whole bunch of nothing, and then here's the report. Have a good day. that's the way it will go, because that's the way it usually goes. It won't be long. But they'll give you a long report that nobody will read and get dust on, and same old rinse repeat pattern goes on over there. Blue Nose, you're just in time. When was this interview released by MCC? Okay, why do you have to ask me questions that I have to take time to think about here? I could tell you. The second interview we're going to do, it was released April 28th, 2022. Is that correct? April 28th, 2022 is the first time I have a record of it, of the second interview. I'm not sure when the first one quite was interviewed. Glenn B., hello. I can't get that answer for you, though. All right, so Constable Jeff Stevens and Detective Constable Bradley. That's HRP. I believe I know this name. Anyway, moving along, James Banfield. Okay, right now the time is 16:15, 4:15, 19th day of April 2020. Constable Jeff Stevens, RCMP Integrated GIS, along with Detective Constable Bradley. We're obtaining a statement from James Banfield in relation to the incidents that have occurred today, right, April 19th, 2020, that we spoke about earlier. Okay, so some speaking going off. That's not kosher. That's not kosher to do a lot of speaking before interviewing. But anyway, okay. Earlier about James. Obviously, we spoke earlier about your relations with Gabe or Gabriel or whatever name he actually went by. Gabriel, was it? That's all. So I guess if you kind of just start from the beginning and in as much detail as possible, just want to tell me, I guess, what your relation is. And kind of, well, Gabriel is my sister's boyfriend, common law boyfriend for the last 19 years. Okay. Yeah, okay. And I don't know him a whole lot. I mean, we go up to his place probably 2 or 3 times a year, max. That's about it. We were supposed to be going up to the whole COVID thing there just to stay over one night. Or stay overnight, one night, but that never happened. And other than that, I just talked to Lisa on the phone here and there. Okay. At least 3 times a week, at least. Yeah. I even said yesterday there to Janet, I said, geez, I haven't heard from Lisa for a while because normally we talk. I was going to phone, but I got tied up. I never phoned her, so. But that's what went on yesterday. So, Lisa is your sister? Yeah. And Lisa is common law to Gabriel. Gabriel, yeah. Right. For the last 19 years. Okay. I guess you had mentioned that property and stuff as well. That they had invited you to, or that you were supposed to go to. Oh yeah, we were staying up there. We went to our little house that we have a yearly thing with all the relations in the summer. It's like a little summer thing. We stay overnight. They have, a band up in the garage and stuff. And we dance, stay overnight, have a few drinks, have a good time, come home after that. Right. Can you describe that property at all? Where it is, kind of how it's laid out? Well, it's on Portapique Beach Road, their residence. Okay. And then across through the woods, on the other road, you'd have to make a left when you come on Portapique Beach Road. to go to his other cottage. Okay. And that's where it is. It's in there about a mile and a half, 2 miles. I never really measured it. Right. We just go in, just take this side by side, just go for a drive. He'd show me the garage and stuff like that. That's it. Okay. It's a big garage. It's huge. Okay, it is. Oh yeah, it's massive. Tell me a little bit more about that. You been inside it, obviously? Oh yeah, we stayed in it. He's got rooms in there. He's got rooms upstairs because I think down the road, like when he's retired, he's going to put up a little denture thing in there just for the people up and around there to do their dentures, teeth, and stuff like that. But it's just kind of like lots of motorbikes in it that he fixes. Okay. He had an RCMP car in there that he was fixing it all up last year, changing the grills. He showed me the different vehicles he had out there. He was taking parts off of and building this one. Okay, what type of car was that you're talking about? I think it was a Charger. Okay. It was that newer style Charger. That really sharp one, really sharp looking. That's really sharp looking. Or I can't see it being a Challenger, but it's like a Charger. So he seems to know his cars. Oh, the newer ones. You see the police cars today, and there are actually Chargers that. So I don't know if he's referring to Charger or maybe just got muddled up with a Taurus, but kind of hard to confuse them. Well, probably a couple of models before that, I think. But it looked like a Charger, but I'm not 100% on that. But I thought it was. Okay. So what type of work was he doing to that? Oh, he's fixing it up and making it look like a police car. Same colors, lights, everything. Okay, beautiful thing it was. Yeah, it was nice looking, inaudible. He had a lot of his motorbikes that he rebuilds. He buys them and sells them, and he has them for show up there. He's got lots of them, right? And he bought last year there. He bought that Montana's bar up there just to have a bar, people over. It's beautiful. Okay. So in terms of, obviously, I'm focusing somewhat on the police car part of things because it's part of the investigation that we're doing. So this particular vehicle, do you know where he obtained it? No. Or any of that stuff? No. Don't know where he bought it. He just buys stuff. Female voice. Hello, dear. Security, hello. Glad to have you aboard. Female voice. Okay. Not listed who's in the room, once again. It's not a very good interview policy to have people not known in the room. Potentially interfering, but you never know. I don't know. He didn't drive it. I'm presuming it's James Banfield's significant other. No. He never drove it. He was going to use it for a show thing. He said it works good. Only had like 2,000 miles on it, or when it was cracked up or something. I don't know if it was wrote off, but he just bought it at an auction. I couldn't tell you. Where did Max ever end up? That's Max. Interview. Second day of Max canceled. Okay, but he had other Ford cars up there. Like he had the old Crown Vic, so he seems to know his cars. He had 2 or 3 of those because he was fixing up another car up, and it was just for parts, and he builds stuff and right. Yeah, but they were right out on the lot. They've gotten rid of them now. I'm not sure. But I know they were driving one. Lisa was driving one back and forth there. Lisa's car. Which one was that? That'd be one of the old Ford Crown, I think. The older ones that you mentioned earlier. It'd be one of the white ones, the older ones. Right. That's, even probably in the last 5 months, she probably drove that back and forth between Portland streets. So maybe speaking about the Tauruses, I don't know. Okay. Where the other residence is, the denture clinic, because they lived upstairs. Right. Yeah. Okay. So the newer police car, do you know roughly how long he had that for? I say probably a year and a half, because we've seen it up there before it was getting, putting inaudible stuff on it, because the grill off another one, because he wanted the exact same grill and the siren stuff, and he got all the stickers, and he wanted them to match exactly. It was Andrew McDonald he was buying grills from. John Andrew McDonald. He wanted to match exactly. Yeah. Do you know where he was obtaining any of the items, like in terms of the decals and stuff? Oh, I don't know where he got them. He might have got them when he is in the States and stuff, but I don't think the RCMP be in the States, like for the logos like that, unless you order them online through Amazon or something. Yeah. I couldn't tell you. You're not sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this this particular vehicle, was that being housed in kind of that building? That was right in the garage. In the big garage that you mentioned. Yeah. When Jan and I went up, it was in the garage. Like, it just looked like a showroom. Like you bought it off the floor. Right. Yeah. Female voice. It was just for show. Oh, yeah. It was beautiful. And so what did he, I guess you mentioned show and stuff like that. Did he ever say, like, what his intentions were with that vehicle at all? Or no, just he had it for show. And then he says, I'm not allowed to drive them on the road because it's RCMP, and it wouldn't make sense to be out there with like a plate, because I don't think he can get plates for it. Yeah. Like, I'm not too, I'm not sure how the motor vehicle branch would assess that for like that. Yeah, right. Where it was wrote off type of thing. Right. They'd have to be paperwork on it somehow. Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. And I don't know if he even could sell the thing, to be honest with you. Yeah. I couldn't tell you that. I don't know what the law is around that one. Yeah, okay. And so what else is in that particular garage? You mentioned some motorcycles and stuff. Oh, it's just everything. He had like all his statues, like moose and buffalo that he bought from Montana stuff, elk, and just a big shop. Female voice. Motorcycles. Yeah, lots of motorcycles. Yeah, stuff like that. Big bar in there, of course, because that's what he was doing, building that. And then just rooms and lots of tools, and that's in there. Yeah, okay. My garage probably would go in there about 4 times easy. Yeah, it's Massive. Okay, okay. Like, I mean, we drove the buses, and when he never had it finished years ago, like probably 5 years ago, he never had it. You could probably put, you could put probably 3 articulated buses in there. It's that big and high. Yeah, as far as the other stuff up there, it's his own, like his bedroom furniture, because it's a lot up in the loft and had showers and everything. You could live there. Anybody, geez, it's like an apartment building. Yeah, yeah, it's nice. And on the other end, he had what did he have up on top on the mezzanine on the other end? Inaudible female voice, inaudible apartment building completely. It had its own little door. What was that? The female door. What was that all about? Weird. It had its own little door, so when you walk into that big building, so it has a big door, and it has a door that you could go into, and as you walk in, it's his wood, his working area, like yellow type cupboards for, yeah, just cupboards, says James. Female voice in the background, unidentified again. Inaudible. And then the bar was on this side. Upstairs was the full up, almost like an apartment. I'm not sure, like, who's being interviewed here. I think it was James. Sounds like, not really though. Kind of some other person in there. Not good. Yeah, up top, female voice. On the other side, it's open with a bed and stuff. And on the bottom part, so the bar is here, and the car was right there. There's a canoe, and then there's inaudible. James, the person being interviewed, does speak again. Canoe for like lights on it. And up on top, the last time we went up, oh Christ, last time we went up, oh Christ, was it Christmas time? Did we go up? Oh, I forget. I don't know the exact date, but he used to have his motorcycles up on top of the mezzanine facing the road up in there, because this other one was finished with rooms and everything. But he put his motorcycles up there with his tractor so no one could get at them. And then when he wanted to work on one, he had like one already rebuilt up there just to look at or sell. I don't know. Officer. So did he work on them himself, or did he have people work on them for him? No, he used to, I guess he used to be a motorcycle mechanic. Well, it's just, you want to interview one person. That's why they separate people all the time. So you can taint the interview. No, he used to be a motorcycle mechanic. Okay. When he was younger. That was his hobby. So that was his hobby. But he was good at it. Yeah. He had like everyone working and the stuff and the parts he gets for them, like in the States and stuff, I guess, or wherever he gets it. So the police cars, were the police cars a hobby too? Like what? Inaudible. I guess so. Well, that's what I assumed. Okay. You didn't know anything. Like, what drew his attention to police cars or anything like that? Or, no, female voice. Well, because he liked motorcycles and stuff, he seemed to like a collector that just liked things, and where he liked uniforms and all started with the other stuff. Oh, this is why you separate people? Yeah, yeah. And then when he got sick of them, he'd just sell them. Like he'd have that Captain America bike I was telling you about. Okay, so here we have, discussion going off recorder. This is common with all these interviews. There's clearly things going on beforehand. Yeah, beautiful bike. Beautiful bike. He sold that like a few months ago, I think. It might have been a little longer than that. He had, like, when he inaudible, he had the outfit for that. The helmet, the Captain America bike from, I don't know if it's from the graffiti or what. Yeah, but it was like showroom condition. And we have just found this strange for female voice. And we would have found it strange for the RCMP truck, car, except for it was like, just like his bar, just like the canoe, it was just sitting there. It was just inaudible. James comes back. Yeah. Everything was just like that. Everything was just there. Geez, I said, holy geez. I said, that thing looks brand new. Excuse me. Yeah, you mentioned uniforms. Did the uniforms in there for like police uniforms as well? I never ever seen I think I seen one uniform years and years ago that had like the stripe on it, but I never ever seen him wearing it or anything like that. Female voice, inaudible. That one you guys wear with the mounted police officer. Yeah, the surge, the red surge. Why is this conversation going back and forth with someone else? No, not kosher. Yeah, I think a few years back, says James, might be four years, I thought he had a vest. And I said this morning, but I'm not, I think I said it this morning, but I'm not 100% sure if he has I thought he had a vest. Yeah. Because even Maureen said he had a vest. So I'm pretty sure he showed me that. A lot of talk. Remember, they were all kept down at the station that night together. Lots of them. Which I don't think there was a lot of separation going on there. Yeah. I never paid no attention. Just, did he ever say where he was, how he was accumulating these, where he was getting them from, or like, is there any family members, friends that were members? No, well, I give him my other two brother-in-laws. They were in the Navy. Okay. And I had all kinds of winter stuff, Navy stuff. I'm not sure if that was really the question, but maybe I misinterpreted. Oh, his family. Yeah, I didn't want it anymore. So one day he was here. He said, geez, I'd like to have that. I said, well, I'll never wear them. I don't wear camouflage in the woods. I wear my hunter orange. Yeah. Stuff like that. I don't wear none of that stuff. So I'll give him that stuff. And then where I worked for redacted, I had old information, or old uniforms. He goes, geez, I'd like to have one of them. So I give him one of them. And I think I even gave him old milk hat when I first started there. I said, I'll never wear that. Said, I'll drop it in the mud or fishing, like as an anchor. I couldn't never wear something like that. I'd wear a tunic or a baseball cap, but we weren't allowed back then. But them hats, we always had to wear them, but I never wore mine. Did he ever try to get into policing, or no? to get into a job, bus driving or whatever, like it's, that wore a uniform or no, not that I know of. No, don't know anything, don't know nothing. He just collects stuff. He's got some crazy stuff. But I mean, I don't know where he gets half of it. Is it online? Does he get it from the States? Female voice. He's always in the States. Yeah, he's always in the States with his friends up there. But I don't know, other than that, I mean, when Janet and I, we never had no problems with him other than that like stuff. So any red flags ever pop up of this, any of the stuff that he was doing in terms of like collecting? And he collects his guns and stuff like that. He had like his 9mm. What is the RCMP issue? Oh yeah, that's right, 9mm. And he had a 40 and his 223s and stuff like that he showed before that he was about, and that was about it. He showed me his 12 gauge, which was never discussed, though recovered in burnt pieces. 12 gauge, of course, because 5 or 6 years ago, I think I gave him 4 or 5 of 12 gauge shotgun shells I got from an RCMP friend of mine. Oh, so he's transferring ammunition a few years ago. An RCMP friend of mine that went out west to Nunavut, Alberta. He lived out there, and he didn't want to take it with him, so he knows that I hunted, and I hung around with them guys all the time down in Sackville. Okay, so he's got a lot of RCMP friends, I guess. Yeah, and I still got a lot of them 12 gauge ones up in my closet that I keep. Okay, so he's transferring ammunition to somebody that might not have a license 4 or 5 years ago to start with. Okay, and then I had some old bullets when his other buddy passed away years and years ago. He gave me a bunch of old shells, and I couldn't even tell you. They're down in the basement. They've been down there for 5 or 6 years. Just a bunch of them old 22s. So he collected a bunch of guns. Like he had a Massam. Well, I think his best friend, when he passed away, that was his best friend. Okay. And he did everything, everything went to Gabriel. Okay. And so whatever came out of there, I don't know. I got even one of his old army rifles from years and years ago. It has to be 100 years old. But it was one of the ones that his best friend had, which was Tom, that the only thing missing on it was the bayonet. I got it up in the closet if you want to see it. Oh, okay. So he has one of Tom's guns. Okay. I had that for years. Yeah. Well, at least 6 or 7 years. I'm not sure about the transferring of weapons, how that works. I don't think, did Tom have a license? Yeah, but it's old. It did never been fired. Not that I know of. Yeah, I don't even know what bullets it would take. It's just so old. Yeah, right. And in terms of firearms and stuff like that, did he ever show them to you on the property? Like, oh yeah, where he was storing them and stuff. Oh, yeah. Like where he would keep them at. Off his 9mm. Well, he just bought them outright. He had it in his garage and stuff like that. He'd go out in the garage, okay, and he'd come back in, and then he'd have them in the kitchen. Just show me. He's like, look at this. I even fired off the 9. I never even fired a 9mm, but he's got a big mud banks down there. So I fired off a couple of shots with the 9mm. Then he has the 223, I think it was. Yeah. Shot off that a couple of times, and then he just put them away. And then he's got a 12 gauge. Well, I got 12 gauges. Okay, so that's, just keep that in note. The guns that James has. 12 gauges, right? 22s, I think you mentioned, and so far. I know what they are, so I got inaudible. Yeah. So didn't know where exactly, kind of just keeping them somewhere in the garage somewhere. He might, I don't know, over in his other garage. I couldn't tell you. So there's another garage by the house as well. Well, yeah, that's just attached, built right on the house. Okay, you just walk out and hit the doors, take the cars out, and he had his tractor and shit in there. Right, bunch of other crap. I don't know. Was he proficient with firearms? Like, did he practice often? Yeah, he practiced quite a bit. He liked getting shells. I got him shells before. Yeah. You know, I got him shells a couple of times. And actually, Lisa, I got her some there a while back, probably a month or so. But I got him shells before. I got my other buddy. He don't have an FAC. So when we go hunting, if he's working, I'll just pick up a box of 30-30s for our Marlins. I don't know if that's legal. I could be wrong. Transferring things. Yeah. Stuff like that. And I think I got him 2 boxes of the 223 and a box of 40s for his pistol that he had. And I don't know where he keeps them. So there seems to be multiple transfers to Lisa and Gabe and some other peoples. But, yeah, you know, I don't know. But other than that, any training, or is he self-taught? Like in terms of his Jesus, the only thing I know he had taught was was making dentures. Oh, okay, yeah. You know, I don't even know if he went to the gun range or nothing like that. Okay, because I never, you know, long as I ever known him, I mean, over 19 years, I might have seen that man, maybe 20 times. And that's only over Christmas holidays. Okay, so it doesn't seem a lot. Right. Special events, that's it. Yeah. Female voice. Gabriel's type is the type inaudible. If he does come in, because he didn't go to many people's houses because he didn't like people. So if he came in, he would kind of look at you and just be more or less. Why? Again? It's like he's feeling you out. So now there's a conversation going on outside of the interview. Female voice. ask you questions, and he kept you distant from. And then when he was all done with you, because that's very much how it is, he just leaves the room, like he doesn't James back again. He doesn't say goodbye or nothing. He just gets up and goes. Female voice. It's different. Even if you go visit, it's almost like plays with you for a minute. James, remember when I was telling you about when we were in the Dominican? Female voice. We'd be there and just get up and walk away. James Banfield, we're looking at each other, going, what the hell is with my sister? Lisa is on a nice evening in the Dominican, and what? He just gets up, inaudible, on his back, off he goes. He don't say bye, nothing. He just leaves us there. Like, what? Female voice. We didn't go away with them again. This is not how an interview is conducted. This is a conversation, a recording of other people's conversation, and not one person's opinion. That was the last time I said, no, I can't. That's just didn't have a good feeling, says James. Back comes the officer finally. Thank you. Not sure who, but officer. Yeah. James, leaving my sister like that. Yeah. So we all hung out at the pool together, Janet and I and Lisa, and have a few beers, get tanned up. Female voice. I really don't know why inaudible. James, I don't know his side of the family. Never ever met his mother and father. Female voice. No, he did mention her a couple of times. He did mention her years ago. Like, I never even, says James, I never even knew he had another brother till probably 6-7 years ago. Never even knew he had another brother. Inputting data. Where is his brother? I think he's out west. I don't know if he's in BC. I don't know. Okay. Do you know his name? Don't even know his name. No. Female voice. His parents gave birth to the son and gave him away. Okay, says the officer. Female voice. But then they're the same parents as Gabriel. James. It's a funny thing because even when I was talking to you this morning, I didn't even know his last name until it was in the news when I got home. Never even knew his last name. I knew it before, but I couldn't think about it. Yeah. Never even knew his last name. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Just couldn't think of it. It's not a common name, if you know what I mean. Have you ever been to his residence in Portland Street, like the denture clinic? Oh, yeah. I was in the denture clinic too, and upstairs, because that's where they lived. We were there at the Christmas time. Female voice. Family thing. The family game night. Banfield. Yeah, the family night. We'd have a family night, or once a year over there, we'd have a summer party up at the cottage there. We'd have a party in the summer. Would he store his firearms up there as well, says the officer. I couldn't, says James. Or just up at the other spot. Do you know? I don't know over there. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't tell you that. If he got them there, he probably got them there too. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just, yeah. Did he ever say how many guns he had or anything like that? I don't know. He's probably got, I don't know. I know I seen the 3 or 4, like the 12 gauge. Yeah. And then there's a 40 and the 9. Don't know where that is. Mr. Ellison referred to the 9 quite specifically. That's the only ones I've ever seen. Because other guns, I mean, I got, please take note of this one. I got my 22 and my 12 gauge. I got my 30-30, and I got my dad's 303 or 303 down there when he passed away and stuff like that. I got a couple of 22s. That's it. That's what I got. Oh, and Tom's gun. So obviously you mentioned a couple of things that are, I guess, maybe unusual in terms of his general kind of character and stuff. But have you noticed anything or heard anything through the grapevine recently? No? Related to anything a little bit more off with him, or anything that would have potentially, no, because I'll be talking to Lisa and I'll say, how's Gabriel and what he's doing? And she goes, well, just going up to the cottage. Got to make a few appointments down at the denture clinic. That's it. I just said, say hi to him when you see him. I was not conversating with Gabriel apparently a lot. 2 or 3 times a week with Lisa. Stuff like that. But we never talked to him a whole lot. Right. No. Like I say, female voice, inaudible, like he did care how you were doing. James, I never had a problem with him myself, like ever. We get along, we shot the shit, and when I was at his, we go out to his little out on his little side-by-side, and he sold that. What was it, a month ago? He fixed it up, and Lisa said that he sold that. But he did that. He always did that. That's his thing, yeah. Because that's the thing because that thing was in bad shape, but he fixed it up and he sold it. It's none of my business, really, but it is what it is. But he had these little toys that he did. I don't even know if he got his boats. He used to have all those boats that were made of rubber, the big rubber ones that you go out there. I think that's a bit of I know people like the boats, but I think it's a bit of a tangent hole. Oh yeah, the marine ones. Yeah, I forget the name of them. Female voice. Didn't he get rid of them after him and Dave got stuck out there? Yeah, they got stuck out there 5 or 6 years ago, and they had to have a helicopter to find him that night. Oh, really? Says the police officer. Interjecting from the sidelines here. Not very kosher. It broke down. Yeah. Water in it and everything. Female voice. And should I mention, I've only been around about 4.5 years, so I only know him from that point. But I didn't think the interview was with her. I thought it was with James. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Yeah, but we know him like I know him basically. It's about it. Female voice. Inaudible, like if I compare it to the other sisters and brothers, he'd inaudible. James. But he'd never show me no harm or anything. He treated Lisa, as far as I know, good. I don't know what they're like when they're living together. But you do talk to her 2 or 3 times a week. Thinking about that, just when that was said, I was thinking about a woman I know who's had a tough go with a guy, and she's really anti-alcohol, big time. Doesn't drink, doesn't like people drinking around her. Usually brings up bad memories. Just saying. Right. Because I'm not there. Yeah. Just like anything else, people can hide stuff. Hey, Jeannie Lewis, my apologies. People hide stuff. Have you ever heard him in terms of any, for lack of a better term, irrational kind of talking in terms of whether it would be government, police, anything particular that you ever heard from him? Leading, but maybe. Well, he just liked a lot of money. That's what he did. He made a lot of money, did things, and never never. So I'm not sure where that question went in there, but somewhere it got lost, I guess. Female voice. No, he never mentioned any grudges on the government or anything. No. Officer. No, says James. I only knew him the way he was. Yeah. Until last night. Female voice. I know that he has that thing that he goes in on the airplane, the thing that starts with an N. So he doesn't have to go in the line. The only thing I know of. Okay, sorry. This is not how an interview is conducted at all. I know that there'll be some people that watch, that help in the background. They're going to be fuming. I guess so. That's what they have. But that Nexus thing. Customs. So James didn't bring that up. He got helped along with that. I guess so. That's what they have. But I mean, they went on their trips and with Lisa, and we never thought knowing about stuff like that. They went every year. Did he have a problem with booze or anything? I think back in the time he did. I don't know right now. Because we know, we don't drink together. Female voice. But I think they did. I'm not a drinker, so I know that he could finish them off quite quickly. But sometimes when we were there, he says, no, I'm not drinking. So he must have. What is going on? Why is there, it should say double interview. James and Co. Must have James comes back. Must have went on the wagon a little bit or something. But at the time, whenever they were having their parties, a lot of times I never seen him drink a lot. When he does drink, they go down pretty quick. I'm going, what? Yeah, it's all gone, says the officer. James. Well, my other buddy, John, he takes one swallow out of a Keith's bottle and it's gone with one. I go, holy Jesus, man, that must burn going down. Yeah, can't even swallow. Female voice. But he didn't even seem to know, didn't seem to do anything than the other ones when we were there ever. James. No. Female voice. And again, I'm the sober one, so I'd actually notice it. James. Well, I mean, you only knew him for 4 years, and you know, I knew him for over 19. But all said and done, maybe 20 times in that time frame. Crosstalk, wrong. Yeah, like in his garage and stuff up there. Like, were you up there with him? Like, you say if he was going to go into the garage, you guys are going to go into the garage. Like, is it alarmed? Or is there a security system that he has to? I think he's got all camera because it's in the woods. Yeah. Alarm system. I don't know what he's got. Could be fake. I don't know. So he does know about it? Or he doesn't? I'm not sure. Yeah, no, exactly. You know what I mean. But I mean, like, is it something like that's fairly simplistic? Like, coming up to the door and maybe hitting a code when the door opens, or is it something, that's got 5 or 6 different things you have to do before you go in? This is no, he's got a couple of different doors. That one's locked and the other one's there, and whatever. Female voice. I thought they had a code, a keypad. Well, he might for him, but I don't know, says James, because I was never in there without him. So how does she know? I guess she was there without James. I don't know. Who's being interviewed? Okay, yeah. No, I just wonder, like, if you guys went in at the same time, if you guys noted a pattern or something. Well, like when we go in, he's got one of those things on the side. I think it's one of those big, newer type sliding doors on big rollers. Yeah. And you go in there, and then you've got the inside door there, and that's all locked and deadbolts everywhere and stuff like that. What he says, where it was in the woods, somebody will probably break in. Okay. I'm not sure why the officer is introducing the keypad and things like that. Like, he should just ask about, was it just a straight old door? Let him elaborate on his own. But kind of leading. Yeah. So he's got his stuff protected. If someone's seen it there, it's just what kind of place it is, because it's beautiful. Female voice. He was planning and building another. Like, that's the thing he planned on. James. By his garage, he got all kind of land that he bought alongside. Right. Right. Who got the title of that? And then sold it to an interprovincial company. Out of here in Calgary, but also out of Nova Scotia. And then changed their Facebook to represent when I said that. Interesting. Right on along, he bought all the lots there too. Female voice. Inaudible, he's got tractors he wanted to put into it. James. Yeah, but he's got lots of toys and stuff. And he's not a dumb man when it comes to stuff like that. But I just, Jesus Christ, the money. I mean, female voice. I mean, you give him a ton of money, Inaudible. Maybe I would buy odd things. Who gave him a ton of money? Interesting way to say that. You give me a ton of money. So who gave Gabriel a ton of money? Hello, Donna. James. Well, we all like our little toys, Yeah, says the officer. You can work on something for a certain amount of money. I'm retired now, so it's like that. So, yeah. So, yeah, I guess in terms of the property there, and the reason that we're asking, because obviously we're investigating it, and at some point we may need to go to some of those properties. Are there any other things that officers should be aware of in terms of they might actually might be safety things? Any animals or dogs? No, there's no animals or dogs. Booby traps, any type. Obviously, I understand the reasoning for asking, but I'd like to know what time this was at. Seems a bit of a leading question. Could be interpreted that way. See, that I wouldn't know that. I know he's got cameras everywhere, lamp poles. Female voice. I would like to know if there's cameras in the rooms behind the mirrors, because that was always my fear when we stayed there. When is her interview happening, Solo Crackolo? Because if we went up there like the way that he had, because he has cameras and he had cameras everywhere, but we were just uncomfortable. I said, I'm not getting undressed here if we're going up there and stay overnight and do our business. We're not going to be playing around like that. Just sleep in our clothes, because that's how we felt about him. But that was for years and years. But I thought everything was okay. Now it's like sketch of doodles. 4:15 on the 19th. Yeah. Well, I suppose it's. I mean, I understand the reasoning. It's a bit leading. Some of these questions. He was different. Female voice. He was different. Officer. Yeah. James. Yeah, just so different. We go up and do our sleep in there, and we have a couple of drinks. We have a few drinks, go to bed, wake up and have brekkie, and go to Masstown and get our breakfast, and then go home. But nothing was ever female voice. I actually started driving home, because I didn't want to stay, because I didn't want to get undressed there. When was that? The last time they stayed? Because they seem to go up every year. A few times, maybe. Yeah, no, but we always felt that it was just weird stuff. So now it's gone off into no problem into weird. Because there were so many cameras everywhere. He didn't know if it was real. He didn't know about the security. I'm just reading what I'm seeing. And it's in a garage, because it's a beautiful garage. I mean, I wouldn't want anybody breaking in mine either like that. I mean, mine's alarmed too, but not with the camera, nothing. I mean, I just got my hunting camera. That's about it. But that's inaudible. Female voice. But I think that he owns that. I think that's all that he owns there besides empty lots. I don't think he owns any other houses. No, he's just got that nice place there by the graveyard, and then his garage over there. That's as far as I know he got, plus his land. Plus he owns down in Dartmouth. Even there in there, I know he's owns the denture clinic and that house, and it's all looked after. And the parking lot that's there, that's his. He bought that, used it for used to be a house. He bought that parking lot. Other say land. So he's just got another clinic in Dartmouth. He just has the one clinic in Dartmouth. He's got one there, and he's got one up on Nova Lee in Halifax. Okay, in Halifax. But yeah, he had that for a long time too. Okay, right at where the Lawton store is. I think that's where his other one. Just one second. Sorry, one moment. Okay. He's got the one there, and he's got the one on Nova Lee in Halifax. Okay, in Halifax. But he had that for a long time too. Okay, right at where the Lawton store is, I think that's where the other one. Because Lisa worked both of them too. Is that just a clinic on Nova Lee side, or is there a residence there as well? Well, when you come up, say you come up Nova Lee facing Lawton, it's right there off Duffus Street. Duffus and Nova Lee, I guess they call it. Okay, I don't think I was ever there. I might have been there once seeing Lisa, maybe 20 years, maybe once in 20 years. I don't even know. Had it that long, though. Yeah, I knew he worked there because I'd be on the buses doing Route 9 going up there all the time. Yeah, and I'd see his car there where he worked. He had some nice cars before. What kind of car did he have? I don't know. I probably don't ask him, of course. Anything that, we haven't asked you that might be important in terms of our investigation or anything like related to the property. That's the only thing that threw me off. Like when Lisa asked me to get him some shells, but I get him some shells. But I mean, I get him shells over the years. Yeah, 4 or 5 times. Transfers. Multiple to multiple people. Knowing. So is there a reason he couldn't buy them, or I don't think he had an FAC? That's my point. Yeah. Same as my buddy. He took the license for hunting, but he didn't take the FAC course because he had his guns anyway. Yeah, right. But I took it, and I just get at them here and there for him and me. And when we're out the bunny hunting or something, but what did you just say? What have you been saying the whole time? Female voice. But we weren't around him enough to inaudible. No, says James. Over the times, the ones that I gave him were the ones I had anyway, that I still got some. Okay, so the officer moves away into being a collector. He just seems to move by this stuff. With him being a collector, he collected motorcycles. Yeah, and uniforms and stuff like that, and firearms. Yeah. Now, would he have collected anything more destructive than firearms? He might well have. I don't know. Okay. See, I wouldn't know that. Okay, and that's either you do or you don't. Yeah. Is it something sometimes, like you mentioned, he would come in and show you his 9mm? That was 9mm, but okay. Yeah. you know, and he showed you his other guns. Yeah, but I see all kinds of 9mm. But see, I see all kinds of 9mm. Would he come and show you something else and stuff, and didn't really bother me? So, yeah. But if it would be something, it would be something like what you know. Like I said, would you even show, would he even showing you something else other than like a firearm? See, there's important questions that he just kind of moves by. Like, okay, so you know that he purchased ammunition for Lisa. How many times has she done that? Does she have an FAC to his knowledge, or a PAL would be the proper terminology? Don't really go there. Just go into other things. Kind of like the dog fest. The dog fest with Dion Sutton, who shattered that, but that's a year old. Sorry. What was that? A date again? April 4. Right. Sorry. April 4, 2022. Would he come and show you something else and stuff? I don't really, it doesn't really bother me. So, yeah. But if it would be something, it would be something like what you know. Like I said, would he even showing you something other than like that firearm, like a firearm? They're kind of pressing him. Okay. No, never anything like seen anything like that. Okay. Not saying that he didn't have stuff. Yeah. And you don't remember him ever talking about, I wouldn't know, anything greater than a firearm or anything like that. No. Okay. No, it's just about all the stuff he had there. But I'm not sure. Because if you keep pushing somebody, this is what happens. You just push. Then you make them doubt. Okay. Anything else, James, that you would like to add to your statement? Anything that you want to change or modify from what you've already said? Or, well, I'm just not so sure because like a lot of stuff you said. I don't know. Yeah. Like you say, he might have over at his place, he might have had guns over there too. I'm not sure. Have you ever been at the actual house aside from the garage, or was it always in the garage when you guys had typically gone there? Typically, we were mostly at his garage because he'd be over there working. Oh, right. He'd be over there working in the garage. You know, Lisa would be in the house. Lisa would be in the house. Lisa would be in the house with Lisa. Lisa would be in the house with Lisa. I'm sensing a vest moment here. Going to ask? No, Dion Sutton says, oh, yeah, no, I drove by a car. Going to ask about it, or are you going to ask about a vest? Oh, that's right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Lisa would be at the house with Lisa. Okay. And that's it. We'd shoot the shit, and the Lisa would put her clothes away or put her clothes on, and we go into the woods and get mosquito bitten to hell. And female voice, he was just very dismissive. Yeah, just different. Yeah, don't know. Female voice, but I never seen this coming though, inaudible. But you guys got some more questions. I'll try and answer them. Female voice, how odd he is. I never seen the mean streaks or anything in him. No, says James. I mean, he treated me okay and stuff like that. Treated you good. Treated me just fine, says the female voice. Especially when I got sick, he came over just to see how I was doing, and always inaudible. Officer, yeah. All kind of conversation going on everywhere. The Lisa would be in the house with Lisa. And officer, okay. What? Yes. Oh, they do cop to the fact that some of this stuff is videoed. Where are those? Just like the audio recordings that they say, an MP3 file, transcript from MP3 file. But you can't hear somebody's voice. That might be dangerous. Yeah, because she was off for a year, and like we were going up there, like I said, just probably a month ago. And I said, we can't go up there, Lisa. I said, Janet, I don't want to get her back in the redacted. Just went through the redacted. Maybe, okay, so she's injured, surgery, something. If it was anything on her back, that would be crazy if it was. Female voice, redacted. He was going certain games for the family night. For that, he just to celebrate that and being okay. Like, he was a nice guy. Like, just odd. Like, a circuit board is different. But I thought he was recording you with all kinds of cameras and shit. It's all over the map. Yeah, but I never took it no different for years. But you still go. But took it no different than he was just odd. We were always thought he was odd. We always thought he was odd now. What is this odd exactly? Can somebody define for me what odd is? It's just off. Strange. Odd. Right, yeah. Female voice. Well, I mean, I think you're a bit odd. You're a bit odd. In different ways, too. And that's all right. I am odd. We all are, right? Says the officer. Okay, so everybody's odd. So then if everybody's odd, what's the issue? More than you, says James to the officer. So you got other questions you want? I don't think I do. Are you good, Chris, in terms of, yeah, I think so. I mean, why can't they specify? Officer. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so right now the time is 16:46. At the time, we'll conclude the statement with James Banfield. Weird, but everybody's different. I just don't know. I don't understand this term. It's not the first place I've heard people, certain people. It's a term that you guys, maybe it's something down there. I don't understand. Chris is McFarland and who? Maybe Chris Bradley? Oh, I thought it was McFarland. Stevens. Jeff Stevens and Constable Bradley. I don't know. Is it Chris Bradley? Let's see. Chris Bradley. No. Who is Chris? Good question. I'm not coming up with anybody from Halifax Regional called Chris Bradley. So I'm not sure who that is. Good question. Very observant. Thought they didn't get along. Okay. Well, my girlfriend has arrived. Now, she's off walking dogs or something. I do want to read this other interview, but this one's longer. I'll probably get in the shit. Important things to note out of there, please. Transfers of ammunition and possession of weapons. Which weapons? Okay? Because it is very relative to keep in mind. I should just talk about that right now. Just put that out there and get it done. And I'll read the other interview another time. One moment, please. I believe it'll be in here. That doesn't work very well, does it? Yeah. 32-bit blows. I don't know why they don't have 64-bit. Find. In here. No, it's not in this one. Yeah, that was good. Was good. Who's Chris? Unidentified people in rooms. It's not. I can't bring it up right now. I don't remember which warrant that is. Do have a screenshot that would help. Let's see, actually, it might have it listed on there. Odd. Odd is in oddball. Is it a Nova Scotia thing that just my silly Alberta mind can't get? Actually, I can do it this way. One moment. Everything takes me a bit of time. Thanks for the reminder. Excuse me. Okay. I should preface this by just reading an article, so I'm on safe grounds. I always try to do things watching carefully. Okay. I can minimize this window, and I can do this. Judge rules in favor of CBC to unseal mass shooting court documents. Okay. So this was published on the 10th of this month. Oops. Why is that? Okay, I have to do it this way. And how do I do this here again? This one. Okay. There we go. My flag is falling. Oh, no. Shame. 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 Thank you. Thank you, Julia. Okay. Judge rules in favor of CBC to unseal mass shooting court documents. Multiple media outlets joined CBC April 2020 to obtain details about RCMP investigation, posted March 10th, 2023. After nearly 3 years, a judge has lifted most of the remaining redactions, okay, blacked out sections in search warrant documents related to mass shooting tragedy in Nova Scotia. This application was precipitated by the mass shooting by Gabriel Wortman, April 18 and 19, 2020. Is that right? Is this a conclusion already written right away? In rural Nova Scotia, which resulted in 23 people killing. Okay, so we're going to get, this is their out these days. 22 people being killed, one of whom was pregnant. Can't ever use the number. Others injured, like less than. What are you talking about? 23. Fuck off. Others injured, and a province left in a state of shock. In quote, Judge Laurel Halfpenny Macquarie. Said. Leaf. Said in her decision released Thursday. CBC filed for a court application to lift the sealing order on April 28th, 2020, 10 days following Wortman's rampage and his death after being shot by police. At the time, the entire country was in the midst of a COVID lockdown, and information about that case, about the case, was limited. CBC requested access to information to obtain documents filed by the RCMP. The documents presented the Mounties case for getting approval for search Wortman's properties. Since the initial court application, most details have been made public by the Mass Casualty Commission, incorrect, which had held public hearings last year. CBC is reviewing what, if any, information is new. In those 3 years, the RCMP has also made changes to its emergency alert protocol in response to the mass shooting tragedy. Dartmouth lawyer David Coles, who represented several media outlets requesting the information, calls it a, quote, unique, end quote, case that could possibly set a precedent on how media applications are handled by the courts. He is now consulting with his clients to decide on the next steps. Back in 2020, reporter Elizabeth McMillan wrote the first submission on behalf of the CBC, arguing that the fact of the matter was urgent, quote unquote, because information in the documents could outline what police potentially knew and when. Quote, there has been considerable focus on why the RCMP didn't send out a public alert to warn people about the active shooter. We believe that the public should know what information police had in this case. In the event protocol changes need to be made before the next strategy, quote, McMillan wrote at the time. Of course, many things have come to light about that. Weather Network? Who owns Weather Network again? Okay, right. Oh, that's the China stuff again. Alert in China? So soon after, multiple media outlets, including CBC, joined together to hire Coles. He describes the ruling as the, quote, final decision in a whole series of decisions. I would have loved to see that. Evolving case. And who was the American agent who came up, who gave testimony in keeping documents sealed? I'd like to know who that was. They never got into that. The case started with more than 20,000 redactions. Now only a few details remain blacked out for privacy reasons. Quote, we don't have certain identifiers out of concern, identity theft, for example, and there are a few names that we don't know. But generally speaking, we now have obtained everything that was part of the RCMP investigation, end quote, said Coles. I would disagree, but it's much better. The number of documents available grew as the criminal investigation evolved. There were only a handful of files that CBC made the first request, but eventually expanded to 21 files in total. Again, I'd say that's low, but okay. Coles said he never expected the case would become so massive or drag out for nearly 3 years. And in fairness, quote, I don't think anybody else did either. These issues kept arising, and more search warrants and production orders were issued. And that was ongoing, and the thing just expanded and expanded, he said. As redactions were slowly lifted, those things like, I don't know, passwords on garages that were burnt down. As redactions were slowly lifted over the course of 2020 and 2021 and continued, details of the RCMP investigation are made public for the first time, including items that the police found at Wortman's property and hints about how he got illegal guns across the U.S. border. How an inquiry changed things, the public, whatever. Then the public proceedings for the Mass Casualty Commission. So that's what's actually called. I don't know why you call it that, because that's misnomer, began, and the floodgates opened. Quote, we were all involved in situations of things that were redacted and not going to be disclosed. And then the public, commission seemed to have no difficulty just releasing all kinds of stuff. Right. Okay. Coles said it was important for the media to see the case through to its end. Quote, when they got started, of course, there wasn't a public commission. In fact, it was the only way public was going to get to know anything was through this process, he said. Okay, so we have a screenshot of that heavily redacted page. You could actually show just a page that was black or white. I like the white pages. Those ones were even cooler. I guess they ran out of the Sharpies. I bought shares. Did you? After that, they've got the Magnum, I think it's called. Or no, this is the Pro. Somewhere I've got the Magnum too. Okay. Okay, so that's that story. So why I'm reading that story is because there was a release of warrants. But I don't like to talk about things until the media kind of says that it's okay, because then legally I'm not going to get in the stew. Now, where was I here? One moment. Please keep in mind what I was saying earlier about the guns. Let's try this. Angela McGever. Are you familiar with that name? I don't know who they are. Okay. So, this is one of the warrants that dropped. Oh. Why is it doing that? One moment. Statement of James Banfield, brother of Lisa Banfield. I had them highlighted. So there'll be certain things I can tell you what has been unredacted. I'll just highlight them as we go. Statement of James Banfield. Anything that I'm highlighting in yellow has been removed. Brother of Lisa Banfield. Okay, there we go. James Banfield has provided statement April 19th, 2022. Constable Jeff Stevens, a peace officer of the RCMP. And, okay, so there we have the name, Kristen Bradley. So I guess it's a lady. So that's probably why Chris doesn't come up. It's K-R-I-S. Peace officer. That actually wasn't removed, so apologies. Gabriel Wortman is his sister's Lisa's common law boyfriend. So I think it's actually reads something like that, or something. His sister Lisa's is gone. James Banfield has been on the property at Portapique before, and large garage with rooms upstairs. There's been a lot of there are lots of motorcycles and an RCMP car Gabriel was fixing up. James Banfield did not know where Gabriel was getting the decals from that were the same decals on the RCMP car. James Banfield thought that Gabriel had a vest ballistic. Gabriel Wortman collected guns. This was redacted. 9mm 40, 223, and 12 gauge. 9mm, I think, is the key part there. Gabriel Wortman, because I would say police issue, possibly. Just throwing that out there. Gabriel Wortman just recently acquired guns from a friend who passed away. Okay, so that's Tom. James, I don't know if there was something redacted there. Sorry. James Banfield got ammunition for Gabriel Wortman, as Gabriel Wortman does not have an FAC. Sergeant Payton conducted queries on the CFRO, which is the Canadian Firearms Registry, CFIS system, and confirmed that James Banfield does have a valid possession and acquisition license for non-restricted firearms. This is very important. Remember what I said? But does not have any firearms registered to him. Excuse me? Does not have any firearms registered to him. Sergeant Payton is the guy who handles firearms. And firearms. Oh, he has more than his dad's. So, continuing on, about a month ago, James Banfield got Wortman about 2 boxes, 223 and 40 caliber ammunition. He actually got more, right? He said 4 to 5 times. They're basing it on that interview, 4 to 5 times. Footnoted, 46. On May 8th, I, Angela Howerluck, the lady who signed the warrant, reviewed the email from Sergeant Payton, the person who checks firearms and licenses and is in charge of the firearms investigation side of things, dated May 7th, regarding Brian Brewster and James Banfield having valid possession and acquisition licenses for non-restricted firearms, but does not have any firearms registered to him. Pardon? Neither of them ever lost their FAC either. That seems to not jive with what I just read to you. But it, you know, if I flash over to the other interview that he did, which is more lengthy, I think I bought the bullets, but Lisa phoned me. Janet and I were down at Hubbard's Way, just taking a drive to get to out of the house. And she phoned me. And she says, can you pick Gabriel up bullets? This interview is June 30th, 2020. I go, well, no. I said, I'm not around any bullets there, Lisa. I said, you know, I'm not going there. I'm not going to be going there. I mean, he asked me years ago to buy bullets. First time I ever bought bullets for him. Well, I don't know if he's meaning back then or now, this one time, but he did say 4 to 5 times in the first interview. But he asked me years ago, lots of little different times. And then I said, I got a bunch of bullets downstairs from what Lisa gave me years ago because of my guns. Lisa gave bullets to James. So does she have a FAC pal? Does she have a pal? Because somehow Lisa acquired bullets because of for my guns, and his best friend give him, and they're just down in a box, in an ammo box. It's all different. There's 22s, there's shotgun shells, there's 12 gauges and stuff like that. And a friend of mine, he was RCMP, gave me a whole raft of 12-gun shotgun shells. And I have them up in my closet that he was moving out to Alberta. And I give Gabriel a bunch of 12-gauge shotgun shells a few years back, inaudible, like that and some, I think, 22 shells that I had. Sure. Okay. One moment. So he talks about going to the store at the Canadian Tire and purchasing bullets. And this all going to get into other stuff, but I'll lay the foundations. Possession is 9/10 of the law. And so that's what I got. He's talking about the 40 caliber 223s. But even years ago, my best friend I hunt with, I even bought him bullets. He never had an FAC, and I got them from the Canadian Tire, stuff like that too. What? But I just thought I could still buy them where we hunt together. But anyway, no, that's clearly explained. You cannot purchase ammunition for somebody else, because the question logically would be, well, why don't you go and buy them? But he knew that in the first interview. He can't buy them because he doesn't have an FAC or PAL, right? So why is he purchasing other people ammunition? And that's the only bullets I ever bought for him. But other than stuff like that, but and after my sister and I went home here, I had the bullets. So my sister came up and I just put the bullets out there and she picked them up. Possession. Who picked them up? Did Gabriel Wortman pick them up? Who picked them up? Picked them up here on the back step. Janice did. That was it. Went home. That was it. Lisa paid me the money. And that was it. So I said this a few times. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Who asked for them? Who paid for them? Who picked them up? I'm not seeing Gabriel's name anywhere. Nowhere. But there's records. Yeah, so, and you mentioned like you've known him for years, like 19 years. This is 19th year, Okay. And it goes on from there. One moment. So why do you think he was getting you to buy the ammo for him if he had all these guns? Well, because he never had an FAC. So you knowingly knew somebody had firearms. You knowingly purchased said person who didn't have a FAC bullets. Who paid for it? Lisa. Who asked for them? Lisa. Who picked them up? Why has that person never been charged? Oh. Even like I said, I got my buddy for Christmas. He don't have an FAC. And him and I hunt together, and he's got a 308, and I got him bullets one time for Christmas. Anything you say to the RCMP can be used. irrespective, but now he is under caution. That's about it. That's the only time I just buy them for myself. Inaudible, I just buy them for myself, but that's not what the other interviews read. And you certainly mentioned twice here. He even kind of is insinuating, yes, that you gave him 12-gauge shotgun shells previously from an RCMP friend of yours, to whom you say that you have many RCMP friends from Sackville area. And I will unravel this more, but the guns part is also equally very disturbing to me. We'll get into that a little bit. I give him a 12-gauge. I give him 12-gauge ones. He's referring to shells. Once they're years ago, I got a 12-gauge, but the fella, the RCMP guy, gave me them years and years ago. And like no good to me, I never used them because I don't use a 12-gauge half the time. I'll use my 30-30. Okay. I wish I could explain what's in my head and stuff like that, but okay. One moment. Sorry, I never have everything lined up, but if you can bear with me, I'll get there always. It just takes me a little bit of time, but I like to have the proof. Proof to me is very important. Lots of people can come out in this world and spin all kinds of crap. What page is that? One moment. 4413. Okay, that's the wrong one. Zero two 1036. I think it's somewhere in here. Let's just try. So you knew it was wrong to give him bullets, basically. Yeah. Well, you even feel it. You can even feel that you're doing something, I'm not that green. Yeah. It's felt better. It felt really bad now. Like, yeah, it's not right, because it's just, okay, you're feeding the mouth. That's not right. And I mean, it's too late now, but I mean, so during the during this FAC and all that, you said you probably covered off that stuff, says Vardy, Max Libator, Vardy. But truth detector, Vardy, right? Truth unit. You probably covered that off. Do you seem anything specifically, about transferring guns or giving ammunition to people, to give people or ammunition? You remember anything in particular about that on the exam? No. No. But he would obviously know because he said it outright on his own. Transferring ammunition is a no-no. I see back in the day, I think you were allowed to, Dad would pass his gun down to me, but even his was registered. Yeah, because he couldn't do it. He didn't know nothing about it. And then he stopped hunting. So he's 86. Yeah. But before he was younger, I registered all of his too. But you know that every person usually passes their guns down to their son or something like that. And I don't think years ago you even had to worry about that. Just guns, they just went to your son. And if they hunted, then they didn't. If they didn't, then you just got rid of them. Okay, I'm not going to debate the gifting of guns. Yes, I do believe years and years ago you could gift guns. But you registered your dad's weapons. Clearly, you understand how this works. Yeah. And you said you had a receipt. How did you pay for that ammunition? I paid through Visa. I got the receipt if you want to see it. Yeah, right there. 14th of 141, 142, April. Okay, 7th. The transaction went through on the 8th, April 7th. So you had 2 in a row on the same day. What happened? This transaction here, Janet and I were on our way and we put the loop down to, okay, so you wouldn't have had to show your FAC? Sorry, I'm not. Yeah, no, not at all. He doesn't have to show his FAC to buy ammunition. That's news. Not familiar with that. Vardy's Max Livator's brother-in-law, who was supposed to come back for a second day. There's also supposed to be a report that they never put out about that. Anyway, his second appearance I would have liked to have seen, but and your FAC with your picture on it, they look at you. Yeah, to verify it's you. They never asked me for no driver's license or nothing, just your FAC with the picture on it. I think they just do a visual. They check it. And then you pay with your Visa. Paid with my Visa. Money would have transferred because there was a payback. Lisa sent money. Possession, 9/10 of the law. You ask for it, you purchase it, you're in possession of it, and you pay for it. What? Whose ammunition then would it be? So how is it? My question always has been, how is it that you come out of the woods and other RCMP officers in their own interviews say that person is a suspect, but then suddenly didn't become a suspect? Nothing I have seen has established anything that gives an alternate alibi. No, that person was still missing. The evidence that was presented at the mass casualty was weak at best to say that there was an abuse case for prior abuse, which does nothing to prove anything that night. However, the person requested ammunition. Instantly assumed, something changed. But James Banfield's issues are not just ammunition related, because as Peyton, officer, staff sergeant, I believe he is Staff Sergeant Peyton, who was then verified by Sergeant Howerluck, who then signed her name on a warrant saying that James Banfield had no guns. How many guns does he have? you mentioned he had, okay, he being Wortman, like it was a 9mm. Again, they wanted that hidden. But let's not, I don't want to throw too many issues on the table. The one I fired off one time down there, Mr. Allison also referred to this. For guns. 223 and the 40. That's about it. I never shot off the 40. I don't know nothing about that. And yourself, you're pretty experienced with guns. Well, I've been hunting all my life. Is that right? Yeah. What do you have for yourself? I got a 12 gauge, a 22, a 30, my dad's 303, but they're all what? What's that word? They're all registered. Blah, blah, blah. And I said, excuse me? But does not have any firearms registered to him. This was checked by Sergeant Payton, that is his department, who then wrote an email, and Sergeant Howerluck reviewed it, and then signed a search warrant based on that. Big time problem. This isn't like a spelling error. Let's go back to the warrant. To his interview. Because he's very clear. He's registered his weapons. Yeah, I got mine all registered. Still even now. Even though I don't know what goes on with them. But as far as I know, they're still registered. Yeah. Ever since that thing come down, and they'd be on record. Probably. I don't know. Okay. But mine's all registered. Well, that's good. I got my FAC and acquisition too. So, okay. Yeah. So what's the story? So he's unequivocal about the fact that his firearms are registered. So what happened here in the search warrant? Or in this case, it's an ITO. Could somebody please help me with this one? You've got a Sergeant Payton, and Sergeant Howerluck. Sergeant Howerluck, who does warrants, apparently, after she's finished her undercover biker stuff. Interesting change in fields, but what have you. Okay. So she signs her name to it. How is it that James has no firearms registered to him? But it's pretty clear. And he also has Tom's gun, which seems to have fallen off the radar in this list. Right? And there are other proofs than just this one. But you have this in 2 different interviews. So either there's something going on with the firearms program, which is a major problem, being that, I don't know, the latest incarnations of the firearm program are all predicated on lies. Provable lies from Nova Scotia on the backs of 23. And now, even the existing program is either broken or we have a man who's not just copying to multiple transfers to different individuals of ammunition, including Lisa. Who has weapons that aren't registered. How does that work exactly? I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just laying down what's there. And that's James. Brian. Did the families get to meet with any said individuals as part of their restorative justice? Which, frankly, there's some more stuff going on here. And do these people still have valid pals? I don't know. Do they? One moment. Can anybody help me understand what's going on here? Maybe it's all of his RCMP friends. I don't know. He seems to have quite a few in and around the Sackville area. Track down a gun from a receipt 40 years ago. They know who has what, in my experience. The gun program in this country is unbelievably regimented, and even gets more so because they just don't like people. I'm not going to get into that debate. I have my views. I think most people now are just pissed off with the government, whether you're for firearms or not, are pissed off the fact the government lied and used homicides of 23 people to further agendas that have nothing to do, and did it while smiling and saying, oh, we feel so bad. And Canadians, what was it, said, you will all understand as soon as it comes out. Well, actually, I don't, because you lied. You lied. Not once, many times. And there are many people that did. And this is just another example of something really screwy going on. And needs to be investigated properly. And how this came to pass. Because James is under the impression he has registered guns. Did anybody ask him about Tom's gun? No, just kind of moved past that one. Anybody ask him about the ammunition being supplied by the RCMP friend? I don't know. Is that relevant? I suppose if it was personal stuff, it doesn't really matter. If it's one person from a pal to another pal, you don't even necessarily, funnily enough, have to have a pal to be in possession of a weapon with the RCMP, is my understanding. So does he have a pal? The person who gave him the shotgun shells before they went to none of it. And I've got more on this, but I'll do it another time. I'm still waiting. Where is the sit report? July 10th. Nada from anybody. And that one is massive. Because now you're talking about Nova Scotia DOJ. You're talking about CERT. You're talking about criminals, or at least people who are accused of being criminals that are senior police officers. You know, the ones that newer police officers take orders from and look up to. Criminals. Oh, very bad. Sex. Looks like extortion of money, source monies, theft. Police forces that feel like, I don't know, in the case of the RCMP, that they won't be backed up. And I can take it from what was said by Leather, and people must not let this one go. They cannot. You must start hammering everybody around on your social media. Please. It doesn't take a lot to just ship out messages to CERT, to RCMP, to Nova Scotia DOJ, to the media outlets. Just tag them and throw out tweets or Facebook messages and say, listen, or alternative media, where is your investigation / reporting of the July 10th sit report? Because how serious is it? I can't underscore how serious it is. Leather drops everything that he was doing to do with the Nova Scotia investigation, to deal with that. Does it have an impact on what happened April 18 and 19? More than likely, yes. Has this been going on for decades? Apparently. 25 years of junk. What does that mean exactly? I don't know. How can you have a police force that is accused of criminality in its senior levels? They're the enforcers of law. Todd on CBC would be a good one to send it to. Send it to everybody. Send it to the politicians. They don't want you to remember when I did the initial reporting of it, because excellent as always, oh dear, just, saying this is what's coming out. And I'm like, just doing it on the live stream that day. And I was like, what the fuck is this thing I'm reading through? My reaction, I think, probably said it all. And I was like, this is outrageous. Multiple reports going down to Ottawa, the most senior people. Brennan, who was in charge? Who was in charge of Nova Scotia? Brennan. Who is Brennan? Number 2 in the RCMP. Ottawa. So if things were falling apart underneath his watch with Truro and the RCMP, maybe we should start asking him questions about that. Perhaps Dave McNeil has some light he can shed on this, because he seemed to say there was nothing there. If there was nothing there, why did Leather and Diamopoulos keep pushing this? Ram, over and over. There will be, quote, significant media fallout from this one. And there was organization already in place from Leah. They had the battle plans down. And I think that good people, really good people, have been lost along the way on this one, because they know. I can't speak for them. I have no idea. But I do understand certain elements to it from other perspectives. And I can say that Diamopoulos was not happy with CERT. Hence his letter. My understanding is he is a very straight shooter. As in, he's a good dude. Moncton, that's why he was brought in. And he quit. Was it for health reasons or was it for other things? I don't know. We all saw what happened to Leather. And he had to deal with a totally, the wellness report. Oh my God. The command in Nova Scotia was a train wreck. Terrible. And who was there first? Brandon. You know, they scheduled the hearings very conveniently so that the documents to do with all of this came after Brandon appeared, so that nobody could ask him questions, or they could have the plausible deniability. We just didn't know about that SITREP report. Why is this going to go away? Why are people going to let this one die? It's cost so many people so much, and it will cost a hell of a lot more in the future, especially if you have criminals or people accused of very, quote, very serious criminal offenses running police forces. That's a big problem. That's your province. I'm speaking to you guys and gals in here today, or that are what we'll watch later. Those are the people that are safeguarding your kids. And you. Are they gonna, they can't cooperate. They can't work together. Nova Scotia Chiefs. I think there's a lot more to this story than we understand. And I may have totally misassessed everything, at least in terms of one thing here. And there seems to be a lot of proof. So I made a mistake. What the fuck is wrong with other people? I got duped. I don't like getting screwed. Especially when you smile and you say that you pretend and you care. And those reports are going to come out and they're not going to deal with it at all. And they know about it. Leather dropped that one on them. Diamopoulos. These guys are good dudes. And it is incumbent upon us to stand with these great officers who do good things. Again, I'm just going by what I'm reading, but I would say that that is the case. We lost Tim Mills. How many? We lost Bernard. Again, a year late on that one pretty much, but elsewhere. But maybe that's because certain people don't want to talk about the SITREP report. Notice the absence of chatter. Very telling to me. Because that's a fucking huge story. Huge. They built a road over it so we will never know. Absolutely, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know why they didn't? Because you know and I know. And it's our job to help spread this message and say, I know. Don't piss on my leg and tell me that it's raining. I won't have trash safeguarding you guys down there. Fuck that, man. And I know it's not just there. Come on, let's be real. And once you have people in those kinds of positions that maybe even if they have the whiff of something untoward, you control them because they don't want their dirty laundry aired. Now they're not individuals, they're just robots. And it goes up the food chain like that. Dozens of witnesses is what blows my mind. Yes, dozens. Dozens. Interviews, recordings, text messages. And I mean, I do that. I do a lot of things. I don't know if you guys are like that. I'm curious to know. But I put myself into the actual time frame. What is happening at that moment as though I were there. Can you imagine what was going on down in Nova Scotia at that time? July? June? You've got a command structure that is totally and utterly inept and fall apart. I'm not saying that it wasn't being run because people pick up the pieces. And that those people, to the best of my understanding, were Janice Gray, Chris Leather, and Darren. And tried to just make it function as best that they could. Lee was having Lee days, I think. And no offense on her. I think I get why. But, you know, you have to say adieu when it's the right time. You got to just bow. But again, we have a system that says, no, you can't do that. We're celebrating 150. Even if that means that compromises things. So if you put yourself in July 10th, July, when did that come around? July 7th? I can't remember. I think around about there, July 7th, Amherst meeting. Is that right? So all the way to the top of the food chain in Nova Scotia, leather, essentially. And the shit has absolutely hit the fan. Lee doesn't weigh in on it. Lee is off on holidays, and then she went away again on leave, is my understanding. So, you know, Chris kind of is like, oh, this is really big. Nova Scotia. How many times is that going to come up in an officer's career? And you're the man, and you're like, actually, that one's got to wait. Because this one is really important. And does that actually have anything to do with April 18 and 19? My understanding from what I've read, and I've read a bunch, is yes. It would certainly affect the response that night. And that's in the actual SITREP reports. It doesn't say that night. It just says officers were placed at risk of harm and death. Civilians were, because of whatever shitstorm is going on down there. And those people are all still there, right? No, there's no repercussions for any of them, so why would they? Nobody even really knows who they are, per se. So why would they walk away? They're just going to feel like they can get away with it, and it just continues. The report said they fear for their lives. Yes. So would that affect calling out other police departments? Remember how certain officers act. Remember what happened up in Fort McMurray and what happened down in Great Village. Fort McMurray here, and because of the negative press that happened with that, officers felt that they couldn't do shit. Big, huge Stratton guys, right? One in particular. getting to me. And took a beating and said that, I thought I was going to die. I literally did. And I kept seeing Trudeau in my head, and I kept seeing Lucky and the RCMP in my head, and I can't do anything. Okay, so that's the kind of fear, right? You literally will die. Now, if officers are living under that kind of fear down there, there's a fucking problem. The family or lawyers or even the public are not allowed to ask questions about the final report on how they came up with their decisions or why they didn't even look at things, because it's pre-scripted. It's an omission. Don't worry, you have a 1-800 number. You can call that. This process is just built to wear people down. Wear all of us down because, I can't do anything, and they're just going to keep... No, fuck you, man. No way. No way. Witnesses were likely made to sign NDAs. Tape recordings ended up on old drives, dash cam footage. Bing. What was that video? ... Remember that video? I put it out. It may mean something. It's a goodie. Let's just put it that way. There may be more to that. Thanks for the convenient timing on your stories. You think you're so fucking smart. I don't like dealing with needs. Sorry, one moment. For some reason, it doesn't want to find it. You guys don't want to live in that. I'm sure that you don't. Who would? I don't. Like I said, I think it exists everywhere. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think the audio works still. I can't remember. It's been a while.
Perpetual clauses. A perpetual clause, as its name suggests, binds parties in perpetuity. Unless something occurs to terminate the clause, or make the obligations impossible to meet, the effects and corresponding rights will continue forever.
What was I trying to tell people? I'll get yelled at by a family member will call me and they'll be like, Seamus, stop dropping breadcrumbs. What was the name of the officer? Let me see if I can find it. June. So, here we go. Why is it doing that? I don't know. All right. What is this? Fuck off. Okay. There you go. Julia. That's the, oh, sorry, that's not it. My apologies. That's the wrong thing. There you be. Global news. There's also another article, I believe. Officer seriously assaulted while responding to unwanted person call in Grey Village. And his report within the RCMP, it's just tragic. Tragic. It came out. Of course, nobody talked about that. Nobody talked about that. Well, I should say nobody. Seemed to have radio silence elsewhere. I don't know. Alternative, regular media. Nobody wants to talk about this stuff. Can they be subpoenaed to release them? Subpoenaed, who? Sorry. What's the point of Vision 150 old have body cams if they never release the footage? Suits their certain narrative. Exactly. I mean, how fast did we show that there was camera stuff down there that night? So where is it? There's dash cams, which means you have all the audio, which means you have all the GPS, and everything would fit together. Everything would fit together because it has to. You have the radio logs, you have the GPS logs, you can look out the window of the car, you can hear the audio in the background of the radio. You can see what's going on, and it all should align. Or will it? Can they be subpoenaed to release? Is that what you're referring to? The dash cam footage and things like that? Oh, listen, if they're going to go to the lengths that they've been going to, which are fucking crazy, I can just tell you that they're absolutely insane in the background. If they're going to go to those lengths right now, the simple answer is yes, they can be subpoenaed. Are they going to do everything under the sun to try to run? And have they been? Yes, absolutely. 100%. They just want the story to disappear, and then nobody will ask questions. But if people keep asking the questions, just like the gun registry, right, because it's all predicated on one thing, and I hope that certain people in this story who can see the smaller stuff, like, oh, listen, that is interference. Okay, if you've got the interference part, there's many more steps to it. How did that come about? What was the whole thing in terms of the gun legislation? What was that all predicated on? Predominantly Nova Scotia, right? They used that as the vehicle to get in. So if you can show that what they did was lie, well, that kind of tanks. The very foundation is built on sand. It's holographic sand. Wouldn't fit together, and that's why they won't. Well, then we have liars. I don't like pedophiles. I don't like liars. Call me crazy. I'm sick and tired of all the lies in the world. It's just filled with fucking lies. The Frank magazines. I'm not quite in a place to answer that. I really appreciate the offers. First of all, I'll start with that. So thank you. Maybe you can send me an email. I'll try my best, Jeannie. I really appreciate that. I do have some of them. So okay. Anyway, I won't keep dragging on. Please, if you go on July 10th, you're gonna like this stuff that I showed you today is very important. We've either got a breakdown with the gun registry now. We either have that. I mean, I can't see why they would say that in a warrant and lie about it. It doesn't make any sense. No, they don't have any guns. Okay, so they have registered guns. So either we have one of two things. Logically, either Mr. Banfield is not telling the truth, that's a possibility, or possibly the actual system is broken. In which case, what fuck are we doing paying all kinds of money and now making more if it doesn't even work to begin with? Crazy. Why don't we just ship some more money out of the country? Where are the leaks of the sit July 10th? All witnesses, tapes recorded. One person has been willing to step up and speak out about it. But have they? Yes. In their ways. Leather certainly did. Diamopoulos certainly did. You know, and it isn't, things in life are not just like one person has to do all the work. That system fails because, and they love that. They love that because they know that one person is just going to burn out. But if people keep picking up the ball and running with it more and putting on more pressure, and you have one person who comes out, then you're going to have a lot more that come out all of a sudden because they'll be like, well, I feel safe. You notice that anywhere else in the world? Then that's how it goes. So you have to foster an environment that people feel like, there's people who are going to listen to them. None of this junk language, communist language, like safe spaces and all that stuff. You actually have to literally help people. Be there for them, tell them there, and not just, say it. Do it. I don't monetize anything I do, which frankly, now I've kind of actually seen the light. Maybe that was a dumb move because YouTube will never promote me anyway, but I don't think it would have mattered to begin with. Because I don't want money. I don't fucking care about that stuff. What I do care about is a safe community. I care about the fact that my friend lost half her family. I cared about all the people who I have garnered friendships from now, whether it be stupid online bunk, or in some cases kind of literally got to know families, and it's been a mixed experience, let's put it that way. But if we work together, that's how this has caused such a shitstorm. And I will never know, but I'm told, and much of that credit has to do with you, right? Spreading the word, asking the questions, saying, I don't really understand what's going on. Right? I just make videos. I do research. People bring me research. It works kind of good. They don't like people who work together because they're not alone. They can always pick on one or two. Anyway, please, if I can implore you, apply pressure on July 10th. It really doesn't take a lot. I know a lot of you ask questions. Just continue to ask them. I know if you've asked them once, ask them again. Keep asking. Keep asking. Eventually, other people are going to see them. They're going to be like, what is this July 10th stuff? I never even heard about the July 10th stuff. Of course they didn't, because they've done a very good job burying it. But the more people that see it, the more people will be like, could you tell me a little bit more about that? I don't know. I like it when I see that in the chat. I really like that because somebody will come in, they're newer, and they'll be like, I don't know about that, or maybe they just haven't heard that side of it. And somebody else will say, yeah, it has to do with this. I see that on Facebook. Not that I do a lot of things there, but I've also seen it on the tweeters. So, come on. We're a family. And we've grown by one. So congratulations to Linda and Nancy and family. God bless you all. And ask the questions about James. There's more to that one too. I'll give some more. God bless you all. God bless the 23.